Hello, hello! I am Stephanie Dreyer, a plant-based meal planning expert and the founder of Batch Cooking Club, a weekly vegan meal prep membership that makes dinner easier. And I am here today for our weekly live cooking class, and we are making barbecue jackfruit today. This is one of the recipes our members are making and prepping on the weekend to speed up barbecue jackfruit sliders during the week with some carrot hemp slaw. I'm going to share a little bit more about that in just a sec, but I first want to do a shout out and welcome to any of our members who are watching. I love you, I appreciate you, I thank you for being here, and also a big welcome to anyone else who's joining us today. We love to have you here. Drop an emoji and let us know you're here, or drop in where you're tuning in from. I always love to see where we're kind of joining in from all over the country and the world. Actually, we have people watching from all over and members from all over, which makes me so happy. So I'm gonna start a little bit about Batch Cooking Club. We give you 4 dinners every week, and we also give you 4 dinner recipes a week, and we also give you 4 to 6 batch recipes on the weekend that you make ahead of time on the weekend to speed up those dinners during the week. And what's unique about us is we also give you a prep plan that tells you step by step exactly what to do. So this week, this barbecue jackfruit is one of those recipes. I am just gonna heat my pan to get us started. And this is a super simple jackfruit recipe. If you've never worked with jackfruit, I'm gonna show you how to use it in just a second. But we're gonna start with, and that's gonna stop, I hope, in a second, the clicking noise. Or we'll try another burner. All right, I'm gonna let it go for a second. It usually stops. I have a yellow onion. You can also use a white onion. Oh, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll answer them along the way. And there, it stopped, yay, I knew it. Drop your questions anytime, even if you're watching in a replay, just drop #replay, tag me, or you don't even have to tag me. I go through and I answer them. And I'm also gonna post the link to the recipe. So don't fret if you can't write everything down. Enjoy yourself as you're watching. So I have an onion. I'm gonna slice this into very thin half moons, and we're gonna caramelize that in the pan before we add the jackfruit. It's gonna add lots of yummy flavor. And this is very similar to what, and I'm just doing it very thinly. This is very similar, and you can see, I don't know if anyone wants to practice their knife skills. You can see that I have my knife is not going to chop up a finger. It's going to hit right my knuckles. That's how you want to do your knife if you want to practice your knife skills. This is very similar to like a barbecue pulled pork sandwich. The jackfruit has that same kind of texture and stringiness to it. And there are lots of ways, there's lots of great jackfruit recipes out there, but this is a really simple one that you can, throw together for a quick, easy weeknight meal. So that is why it's in our plan. And we, as I mentioned, we are putting it on sliders. All of our meals are family focused, so we try to make them fun, and not just for adults, but for kids too. So the sliders are on the menu, and we're topping them with a carrot hemp slaw. You could use any slaw that you want, any coleslaw that you want. So if you have a favorite recipe, you can totally go to that. And I also wanted to say, what was my other thing I wanted to say about this? Oh, if you've got mixed eaters in the house, so I am vegan, but my family is not. If you need to make different meats or proteins or whatever to accommodate everyone, what a lot of my members enjoy about the membership and why I created it is I was tired of making several meals a night to feed everybody. I wanted to do one meal and have it done. So this is, all of our meals have that in mind, and so this is a perfect one. You could very easily also have some shredded chicken or some shredded pork and have 2 pans going, but it's the same meal, it's the same recipe, you just have 2 pans going with your 2 different proteins. So stick with me if you want more tips for how to juggle your plant-based lifestyle if you have non-plant-based family members. And then there was something else I wanted to tell you about with the sliders. So we're serving those with the slaw I mentioned, but you can also use this jackfruit in so many ways. You could put it in a wrap, you could put it in a roll. There's so many different ways that you could serve it up and make it your own, and which is what we encourage you to do here at Batch Cooking Club. We want you to make them your own So we always include, so I'm just gonna put this in the pan to caramelize. We always include alternatives if you have a soy allergy, if you have a gluten allergy, a nut allergy, or oil-free. We give you options for all that. And we also give you options in our ingredient substitution guide. Every week we have alternatives for every ingredient listed in our recipes. So if you don't have something on hand, you just don't like it, or you've got a picky eater, you've got other options for you. So again, I am a mom of 3. I've been there, I've done that, I get it. I know what it's like to try to please everyone. And my goal is to simplify it, take the thinking out of it. So we do that with all of our recipes. So I'm just gonna give this a little zhuzh. Any questions while we're sizzling it up over here? Sizzle, sizzle. Okay, so we're just gonna let these kind of do their thing for about 10 minutes while they get all nice and caramelized. Oh, it smells so good in here. Garlic and onion, I mean, that's my favorite smell. One of my favorite smells. Okay, so now let's talk jackfruit. This is what jackfruit looks like in the grocery store. This is from Trader Joe's. You can also get it at your health food store. I think Nature's Harvest is another, I think that's the name of the brand that I also buy at my Whole Foods. You can also buy it at an Asian store in its fruit form. It's a fruit. It really is a fruit. And it has, I want to show you, so in there you have these little chunks, but I kind of want to, I guess when I break it apart you'll see. You can buy it, and I've never done this, but I have a friend who's a chef, and she says it's very easy, but it sounds like a lot of work to me. I just buy the can, but you can buy it whole, and then you have to, it's prickly on the outside, and you just get the cutaway to the core, and you can cook that down over several hours. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I just have a fork, that's all I need, and it came in brine, so you want to drain out the liquid. And I'm just going to shred it. See how it comes apart? This is what I'm telling you, it's just like pulled pork. See that? How easy that is. That's it. And then these little guys, this is kind of like, not a seed, but that's like the bulbous part of it. You can eat that just the same. It just is a little different. So this is how I do it. We're gonna kind of fry this up in the pan for a little bit before we add our barbecue sauce and let it simmer. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. And if anyone has any questions, you can kind of see here I'm doing kind of play. This is a great job, by the way. I'm all about, as I mentioned, I have 3 kids. I'm all about getting kids in the kitchen with me, and they did it a lot more when they were younger, I have to admit. You can also just kind of break it apart with your hands if you need to get it going. When they were little, it was a lot easier to get them in the kitchen. Now they want to do everything on their own. But this is a great, if you've got kids, this is a great job for them, is to have them play with their food, and it's a great way to get them to eat it. I know new foods can be hard to introduce, not just to kids. See, and then you got that. Not just to kids, but to adults. So I find if you get them involved in the cooking and the preparation and the planning, it goes a long way to getting them to try it when it comes down to dinner time. So this is going to make about 2 cups of jackfruit, which will, make about 4, I would say, regular sandwiches, and then about 8 sliders. So depending on how big your family is, you should adjust the recipe accordingly. And I've seen jackfruit in brine. I've seen jackfruit in water. You can buy either. It does not matter. You don't need to rinse it before cooking with it. I'm trying to anticipate any questions I might get with this. Oh, and I know what I was going to tell you. I am just using a store-bought barbecue sauce today. You're going to need a cup of that. We have I think it's on our blog too. I know for our members, it's in the recipe library. We have a really easy homemade barbecue sauce that my husband just happens to love. So if you want to be really extra, you can make your own barbecue sauce. But otherwise, we're taking some help from the store today and using store-bought. I'm just going to give my onions a little stir before I finish shredding. You're trying to get these caramelized, and they're starting to come together right now. These will be perfect by the time the rest of mine. You just want to get a little caramelization going on here. Yeah, these are coming together just great. Ooh, smells good. Let me turn this down a little bit and keep going with my jackfruit. We just have a few more pieces left here. So, if you're ever curious about our membership and what's on the menu, we profile it every week on our website at batchcookingclub.com/this-week. But to give you a quick preview of what's on the menu this week, we are serving these barbecue jackfruit sliders with carrot hemp slaw, as I mentioned. We're also serving cheesy butternut squash shells and butternut squash enchiladas. We always give you one recipe to double up on, but use in two completely different ways. I call it giving you more bang for your batch. So we are making a cheesy butternut squash sauce on the weekend, and then you're gonna use that on pasta shells during the week, as well as some butternut squash stuffed enchiladas, which are so good. And then last but not least, we're serving up teriyaki tempeh and broccoli. So that's the menu. And you can check more of that out, like I said, on the website. And if you really want to get a taste of us, you can try us for $1. I keep wanting to say for free. For $1 for 1 month over at batchcookingclub.com/trial. That's right, just $1. You can try this menu out this week or next week, and as well as the rest of the month. So I invite you to check us out over on the website, batchcookingclub.com/trial. Feel free to DM me if you need have more specific questions. All right, so I've shredded this with the fork, and I kind of just go back over if I see any big chunks. Again, I want to just show you those little bulby pieces. You can eat those. Those are totally just as yummy. It doesn't have the stringiness, but it's just as good. And this really, if I were to eat this right now, it has kind of the flavor of a heart of palm. That's how I equate it to. So it really takes on the flavor of whatever you put on it. So I've used jackfruit in a million different ways. In jackfruit noodle soup, I've used it in enchiladas, I'm doing it in this pulled pork. You really can do it in a bunch of different ways. And so then I'm just kind of going over it with my hands, you guys, and kind of just breaking it apart even further. But this is ready to go. Let's get this all to the side here. And we'll check on our onions, and we're gonna put it in with the onions. And what we wanna do is we want to char this up a little bit so it gets a little bit of crispiness to it. You can see it's pretty, it's hard to show you, but it's pretty soft right now, you know, and flexible. So we want it to get a little bit crispiness like what a traditional pork would have. So these are perfect. These onions are perfect, I can show you. That's the caramelization you want in just about 10 minutes there. And by the way, you can achieve this if you're trying to go oil-free, you probably already know this. You can achieve that same caramelization with just with a dry pan, and then adding a little bit of water, about a tablespoon at a time, to get that same caramelization. So I'm just gonna put all of this in. And then this is a really like hands-off recipe. Once we do this, you pour in your sauce and you let it simmer, your water in your sauce, and you let it simmer and do its thing before you finish it off. So it's a very simple recipe. Okay, so I'm just gonna saute this around. Again, we are just trying to get the jackfruit to get a little bit, I don't wanna say crispy, but a little bit charred. So I'm gonna let that sit there for a little bit. Okay, and let me talk to you about the rest of the menu and the rest of the plan. So the way this works, so as I mentioned, we're preparing this now, pretend we're doing this on the weekend. Then during the week, all you have to do is reheat this, toast your slider buns, and make the slaw. Dinner is served in less than 20 minutes. That's the way we do things here at Batch Cooking Club. And some of the other recipes that we're prepping over the weekend include that butternut squash sauce that I mentioned, the cheese sauce. We also are making, what was the other thing we're making? We're making a teriyaki sauce to go in that tempeh and broccoli. Again, all you do is saute that tempeh and broccoli during the week, throw on that teriyaki sauce, and dinner is ready in just about 15-20 minutes. And then the enchiladas, as well as that sauce is going on top, we're also making a filling. So you're gonna make a Fiesta butternut squash. You're gonna mash that up with some refried beans. We've got some corn and jalapeno. So you're gonna make that as well. So that is our prep plan, and we take you step by step so you don't have to think about any of the steps. We tell you what to do first, Step 1, turn on the oven to this degrees. Step 2, shred the jackfruit, whatever it is. We tell you the steps and the order to do them, so you are in and out of the kitchen in 2 hours or less. I don't want you to be spending hours on your weekend slaving away, but to just take the help where you need it during the week, which is really our philosophy here at Batch Cooking Club. We're not about 5-hour marathons where you cook everything for the week or the month, but to identify where you need the help with dinner the most the following week, so you can prep a few things in advance to have them ready so that dinner is an easy, joyful experience at the end of the day that you don't have to think about. So that's what we're all about. Would love to answer any questions. Drop them in there if you've got them. I'm going to give this another little swoosh around. Oh, and I should invite you, silly me. I want to invite all of you, if anybody is interested in learning more about how to set up a meal planning and prep routine. Our whole membership is based on a 5-step system that I still use with my family and all of my members in every week's weekly plan. I'm offering a free workshop this week on Meetup on Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll drop the link in the description after we go live, or feel free to hit me a DM and I can send you the link personally. We are going to literally spend half an hour and set you up with a meal planning and prep routine that works for you. If you bring your calendar for next week, if you bring some of your favorite recipes, you will have you'll be way well onto your meal plan being done for the week if you want. So it's a working session workshop that I'm super excited about. I love to talk meal planning, and I love to help people create routines that work for them instead of creating more work. That's the key right there. All right, so this is cooked up a little bit. I'm gonna add a half a cup of barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna add a half a cup of water. You need 1 cup total of barbecue sauce. So we're gonna start with half a cup, and we're gonna cover it and simmer it, and then we'll stir in the remaining half after it simmers a little bit. Trying to see that. Okay. So we're just gonna, already smells so good. So we're just gonna stir this up. You want it to be completely combined. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I'm using a Kansas City style barbecue sauce. Smells so good. So you don't have to give up things when you go vegan. I hear that so much that, oh, you have to give this up and you have to give that up. I don't have to give anything up. You just have to be willing to be creative and explore and eat a lot of different things. So I'm gonna put a cover on this. I'm going to reduce the heat to a simmer, very low simmer. And this is gonna sit and it's gonna do its thing for 20 minutes, which we probably won't make you sit and do that the whole time, but I just wanna take you through the method. That'll simmer for 20 minutes. When that's done, you can remove the lid and stir in the remaining sauce. And that is all there is to that recipe. It stores really well. You can store it in the freezer for 4 to 5 days, no problem. And I've never tried freezing jackfruit, but I bet you actually could freeze this as well. I'm not sure how the texture would be coming out of the freezer. That's something I'm going to test out. If anybody watching has ever frozen their jackfruit and then used it again, I'd be interested to hear. Comment below and let us know if you've tried that and how it comes out. So any questions? No questions. All right, everyone, then I think we're just going to give you one more little close-up here on the jackfruit. And it's just simmering there, as you can see, the little simmer sauce for 20 minutes. Then we'll stir in the rest of the sauce, and that's really all there is to this recipe. I hope you will try it. I hope you will pile it high on some slider buns with your favorite slaw. We're serving it with some garlic. I think it's garlic Parmesan fries, or is that a different week? I can't keep it straight. But we have a great recipe for those too. So I invite you to explore any of our recipes over at batchcookingclub.com/blog. We post new recipes weekly. And I also, again, invite you to connect with us. Try us out at batchcookingclub.com/trial. And if you'd like to join me this Sunday, you are very, very welcome. I'll drop the link in the description after this live is ended. And please, if you're not following us here on Facebook, make sure you click that little follow button. Join us over on Instagram, also at Batch Cooking Club. And you can also connect with me personally here on Facebook at Veegmama, Veegmana, and also on Instagram, where I share also more meal planning tips, more specifically as it relates to me with my family and being a mom of 3 kids who are not vegan. So thank you so much to everyone who's watching. If you're watching in replay, we appreciate you watching, and we invite you to join us next Thursday. We're here every Thursday morning with a new recipe for the week. Bye, everybody.